Having run a CRO consulting practice for over 8 years now and having worked with a couple hundred brands, we've seen a lot of brands come and some of them go. And wide variety of different brands have used our CRO services. Now, there aren't many universal items that I could pick that the successful ones had and the non-successful ones didn't. That would be consistent across the portfolio. But I have identified 3 of them, and this is in a way your checklist. No matter what kind of brand you are running, you can really hone into understanding and utilizing these 3 in order to maximize your results. And so buckle up, we're going to go deep into unchangeables to help you make informed decisions in terms of the rules of the game, which are the boundaries that you need to play with it, and you'll have an idea of what you can change and what are the fundamental elements that you cannot ignore. But before I do that, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like e-commerce optimization content such as these kinds of videos. The number 1 item is a deep understanding of your target audience and niche. Now, notice the order here. We haven't even talked about the product yet. We haven't talked about the offering or even the kind of problems that you are looking to solve. The audience and niche understanding, in my book, comes first. And there you are crafting an offer around that. If you understand this target audience as well as they understand themselves, you automatically slot in that position that they think that you can actually solve their problem. And there as well, once you understand the audience and the niche really well, then your likelihood of hitting their pain points will be a lot higher. And as a result, you're actually solving real problems. And this is a fundamental small business e-commerce. If you look at your competitive advantages versus, say, Amazon or Walmart or whatever big player out there, you don't have the cost advantage. You do not have the selection advantage, but you do have the personalization advantage. You have the small business advantage. So there, you'd want to really hone into that understanding of the target market and also your ability to exploit that. Here, by understanding them deeply, you have something that the big players cannot do, meaning you can personalize and you can really get into that, speaking their language, etc. Now, if you don't do this, it can actually work against you, because now you are in a way confusing the existing customers, reducing their loyalty by diluting the message, and as a result, you are less effective in where you could be most effective. And that's just going to really eat away at your results. And this is fundamentally at the core of conversion optimization in general. So if you have a case where you were to hire, say, a CRO specialist or a CRO agency, they would most of the time look into customer research as one of the very first things that they would do. So they're understanding, for example, where your offering can be unique, what do customers think are the best aspects of it, what are the objections, that kind of thing. It all comes down to target audience and niche. What do they value and what do they not value? So you can maximize the value part, minimize the not value part, which is cost. All right, going on to the second point here, which is very related to the first one, because on the first one we talked about understanding the audience, and based on that understanding you can form your brand identity and values, and you can do that in a way that is supercharged, because now you know what the actual target audience goes for. And there are people that do this the other way around as well. So they first go for the brand identity and values and then figure out who that most resonates with. I think of it in terms of the audience comes first, because then you are actually solving real problems and you keep that customer at the center at all times. It's important to note here that, again, if you are thinking of the big players versus your store, one of the biggest advantages you have versus a general store is that you can have a strong brand identity. And you can differentiate this as a direct-to-consumer brand from many of its competitors by being very specific what your brand represents. And if you have that core brand so visible that it really hits hard when the customers land on the site, and you are consistent with that, so no matter what the channel is, it is going to be the same strong core message, and there's no conflicts that can be found anywhere. And now on to the third point, and you can think of this as a three-legged stool. If you knock out any of the legs, it's going to falter. So now we have an understanding of the target audience and niche. You have the brand identity and the values. That alone will not help you sell. Well, it will help you sell, but it won't sell automatically for you. So what you need on top of that is the unique selling proposition. And here, this is simply the value that they are going to receive, summarized, easily understandable way. Here, this is what the customers will see as your offer. And how I like to think about unique selling propositions is there is a circle of what your business does well. And then there's another circle of what the customers want. You might do a lot of things that are not valuable to the customer very well. And the customer might want a lot of things that you don't provide or you don't do very well. But there is that little section where those two circles meet. And that's the sweet spot where your customers want what your business does really well. And there, if you are actually very specific about what the business does really well, you will be able to be more believable as well. And now that we have covered these three, so the target audience, the niche, brand identity and values, and unique selling proposition, let's quickly look at some examples. So I'll jump in the screen share and share some examples of how this can look in the real world. All right, on the screen share examples then, and I've picked a couple of brands. I'll go from sort of easiest to hardest, and then you can see a couple of different examples of how it can be done. So first of all, a couple of examples of people essentially tackling their own niche. So bras, and you can pretty easily understand that target audience fairly clear. Then you have a little bit of a mission here of 80% women wearing the wrong size, and there you have your unique value proposition, all in the matter of a little bit of scroll on the front page. So fairly easy in terms of getting these three right here. And then it is just something that you would more or less repeat consistently on the site. Next, we have the opposite example, so bearded men. Here, oftentimes this is also one where it is founders scratching their own itch. Obviously, very specific audience and niche already with the product. And then you have your identity here with the founder. So in a way, he's part of the target audience as well. And a big part of the brand identity, I would judge from here. A lot of it is based on this personal branding. And here then on your unique selling proposition, you have the brand values as well. Here, the idea is that it works with your body's natural chemistry and it's not going to have anything suspicious. So that's the brand promise here. I think overall, this could be even stronger. I think it's just focus a lot on the founder story, and a lot of that's in video. Let's move on to the next one. So here, we're going to move more to more challenging items. So the last couple of stores you saw were stores where you could pretty much come up with that without having a superior product. And here you actually are providing something that is superior in the next couple of examples. So first we have the Saddleback Leather Company, and here they have this target audience that is actually pretty obvious. So this like rugged Western kind of old school men that want to have leather bags like this, which will last for a very, very long time. So they have this lot of Midwestern type of items here. And a lot of the brand identity is also about the complexity of this and the journey of that. So there you pretty much have the story laid out that talks to the target audience already, has the brand identity and the values there. And on top, they have their unique selling propositions here. 100-year warranty, no breakable parts, and as they say, over-engineered. So it's going to be lasting just about anything. And nicely summarized here, they'll fight over it when you're dead. Next we have the last one, Death Wish Coffee Company. And here, their unique selling proposition is, of course, in the name as well, pretty much, Death Wish Coffee. So something that is so strong that it's almost a death wish. Of course, target audience, hardcore coffee consumers, enthusiasts, etc. Brand identity, very masculine. Probably not many females actually doing this. A lot of tattoos, that kind of thing. Kind of a hardcore brand. And this is their unique value proposition. So it's all about that black branding and being really extreme when it comes to this. So the normal coffee is not enough. And you can notice as well how this is consistent. So you have this on the About Us page. It's clear what they are recommending and representing. It really tries to live this with as much as possible. So that's the last example on this. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you are curious about what we do, go to crogurus.com, where we can possibly even work together if you have a brand that would be suitable for us. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos. Cheers!